Welcome back to part 2 of the Little Red Rocket's trip to Muncie, Indiana and the Academy of Model Aeronautics Museum. Click on the link in the corner to watch part 1. The AMA Museum is literally 10 minutes from Delaware County Regional Airport. It's not a large museum, but it covers every aspect of the hobby in great detail. If it was displaying full-scale planes, it would have to be 20 times as large. I was impressed with this model, which unbelievably was steam-powered. It was built from plans in a magazine in 1913. If that's a little too hot to handle, how about an early model powered by compressed air? The Bing autoplane kit was sold in 1914. How do you fill it up? With a bicycle pump, of course. In the 1920s and 30s, rubber band-powered plane kits were all the rage, including the Miss World's Fair. Pretty soon, gasoline-powered free-flight models started to be offered. Free flight as in, once you let go of it, you watched and hoped for the best. It took a lot of courage to launch a gas-powered model that you worked on for many hours into the air. Most models had a very slight bend in the rudder to allow the plane to fly in a circle. I bet it made takeoffs interesting. Right from the beginning of the hobby, scale aircraft were introduced. In the early days, the so-called peanut scale was very popular. The level of detail varied from simple to large-scale and extremely detailed models. There were drones on display, some military, even one designed by NASA. But the one that blew my mind was the Spirit of Butts Farm, built by Maynard Hill. On August 11, 2003, using a combination of off-the-shelf and custom electronics, it flew non-stop across the Atlantic Ocean from Cape Spear, Newfoundland, to Clifton, Ireland. The flight took 38.9 hours. Radio-controlled models are also well represented in the museum. Both powered and glider models were starting to be radio-controlled. In the late 2000s, lower-cost RC equipment were installed in very simple planes built from foam sheets. Speaking of RC equipment, the AMA Museum has a very large array of radio transmitters and receivers, from modern transmitters to this 1960s-era Heathkit model. Going back even further, RC equipment used tubes instead of transistors. A ham radio operator by the name of Bill Good built this transmitter and receiver combination way back in 1937. The museum boasted a huge collection of model airplane power plants. How about a 5-cylinder gasoline radial? Or a more modern version of a compressed air engine? Even pulse jets were on display. For me, the coolest part of the AMA Museum was a reproduction of a 1950s-era hobby shop, right in the middle of the building. It obviously featured mostly aviation models, but it was like stepping back in time. After a couple of hours in the museum, I still had some time before my hotel room would be ready, so I found a trail in town and got a good 1-hour walk in. It was either the Old Indian Trail / Wheeling Pike or the Cardinal Greenway, depending on whether you trusted a sign or a rock. It was along this walk that I discovered an old kiddie Ferris wheel in a parking lot along the path. The next morning, I returned to the FBO with the little red van. Muncie Aviation Company was a very nice place with very nice people. The Little Red Rocket spent the night in a hangar nicknamed The Barn, for obvious reasons. Within a few minutes, my friend Sherman was towing out the rocket to the ramp. I really got a kick out of seeing my little plane being pulled around like a private jet. After packing and pre-flighting the plane, I was all set for the flight back home. A little hazy today, but the clouds are well above my planned flight altitude of 3,500 feet, and the air was calm.
Delaware Tower, Light Support 64 Hotel Bravo is ready for departure on 1-4.
Light
144 Hotel Bravo, runway 14, clear for takeoff, proceed on course.
Clear for takeoff on 14, proceed on course. Take care.
Groovy runway 2.
Power. We're over 200 feet. Lap sprint. It's bouncy.
1053 Whiskey.
Even though I want to get up as fast as possible, I'm going to slow down a bit. Makes the penetration easier. Yeah, I'm a little off course here. Actually, not a little. I'm not sure how far I'll go. Looks pretty calm now. I'm going to stay at 3,000 for now.
On the way back, I saw this unusual quad water basin. As I passed by Indian Lake, again, I was reminded of a song from the early 70s. I also found this grass strip. Someone's living the dream. Although they do have to mow it.
Oh well.
Autopilot, disconnect.
I'm sorry, Debbie. I know you like to have some fun, but had it the whole trip.
As I got nearer to Mansfield, Ohio, the turbulence started to pick up a bit. And I was cleared for runway 14.
Mansfield Tower Light Support 634 Hotel Bravo is on base for 14.
Light 44 Hotel Bravo, runway 14, 1160 at 6, clear to land.
Clear to land 14, 634 Hotel Bravo.
Turbulence picked up on short final, but I was happy with the landing.
Beat me up right to the end, aren't you?
I really enjoyed this flight, and I hope you enjoyed getting a glimpse of the Academy of Model Aeronautics Museum. As always, like, subscribe, and comment. This is Aviator Joe signing off. Happy landings.